Hello, my name is Brandon Weekly, and today we're going to be covering the crisis recovery feature of the CEC173x platform root of trust controllers. This is one of the many security features offered by this family of parts. Most of the other features are covered in other videos in this Chiptorial series, which you can view on YouTube. Once we explain how this feature works and give it some value proposition, we're going to show you in the free Trust Platform Design Suite software, which you can download from our website, how to customize this feature to your specific needs. Now, the problem that we address with this feature is the unlikely crisis scenario of your system being in the field and suddenly being unable to boot securely. If you understand how Secure Boot works with the CEC173x, you'll know that we have multiple code images that we can fall back on just in case the first one fails, if we're unable to establish a digital signature or whatever the problem that arises may be. But imagine none of that works. How can we get the system to boot without having to rotate keys or go into the field and replace any of the components? To answer this, let's review what a successful secure boot looks like, and then we'll show what we can do in the event of a crisis. Here we see the familiar setup of a CEC173x being placed in between our external SPI flash that stores our boot code and the application processor that executes it. At boot time, we'll load our AP image 0 into the SRAM of the CEC173x, where it will attempt to establish a digital signature using the keys that are stored in the OTP block. When this is successful, we'll go ahead and pass the boot code, in this case the BIOS, through the SPI line into the application processor where it will be allowed to execute. Now, we do have a failsafe here with AP image 1. If AP image 0 for whatever reason is corrupted, we can boot using AP image 1 and then rewrite to AP image 0 so that on the subsequent boots it will work on that first image. But again, imagine we have a crisis where both of these are corrupted and we now no longer have access to our BIOS and we're not able to boot our system. What can we do here? Well, the CEC173x comes equipped with an I2C crisis port, and we can effectively use this to reprogram the SPI flash with newly approved images that will then allow us to boot. We can do this remotely, typically, and this will allow us to fix this problem while the platform is in the field. So we have this updated image that will load into the I2C crisis port. We have commands that we use to do this that must be signed with our private key, and the updated image, of course, must also be signed with our private key. If we do all this properly, we will then load this image into both slots AP image 0 and AP image 1, and then we'll be allowed to again boot, and we will have access to our system once again. Now that we have some understanding of what crisis recovery does, let's show how we can configure it using the Trust Platform Design Suite software. You'll see here that I have TPDS open, and the first thing that we want to do is navigate to this Configurators tab here. Under the TrustFLEX column, we'll find the CEC173x TrustFLEX configurator. We'll click there. From this screen, we want to click on System Configuration here on the top left. We'll scroll past our package options, and here we'll find the CEC173x feature set. Here we simply want to make sure that the box next to crisis recovery is checked. If it is, it should then appear here on the left, so we'll click on crisis recovery here. And this is where we will be able to actually configure the feature to our needs. The first thing we see is a detailed transaction diagram that goes over the step-by-step process of a boot in the field of a system that's utilizing this crisis recovery feature. There are actually two different types of crises that we can recover from that are addressed here. The first is the one that we described under this section that says verifying root of trust, where we have our AP firmware images and the external SPI flashes that are unable to be verified, so we have to use the I2C crisis port to reprogram them. The other type of crisis, where it says here verifying chain of trust, includes reprogramming those external SPI flashes, but it also refers to the crisis where, for whatever reason, the EC firmware, or the firmware of the CEC1736 that we call Soteria, that itself fails. So from there, we're unable to boot because the root of trust isn't working. So if that happens, we do have the option to use the same mechanism to reprogram the CEC so that it can then start working for you and your security remains intact. So if we close this transaction diagram, we'll see that broken up into, as we described, the EC firmware crisis recovery and the AP image crisis recovery. Under EC firmware, we have a couple of options. Enabling the bootstrap pin simply allows you to access the I2C crisis port to do that reprogramming as we described. And then load failure gives you the option to recover from an internal image that you have stored. There's some more details described here in this help section, so you can read that. Under the AP image crisis recovery section, there's simply one box to tick. It's whether or not you want to use it. But it is important to note that this feature does use some OTP bits, or one-time programmable. That does mean that for one given CEC chip, you can only program these bits one singular time. If you want to try a different configuration of crisis recovery that utilizes these bits, you will need to swap out that chip and generate a new prototype provisioning package and program it to a new chip. Thank you for watching this video on crisis recovery with the CEC173x Trust Shield. Check out the links in the description for resources including the free Trust Platform Design Suite software so you can get started today. And check out the other videos in the playlist so that you can see how Microchip can help you enhance the security of your designs.